Hello everyone, welcome back again to my channel. I appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me. Today I'm going to give a short review on a new camcorder that I bought. It is the Canon Vixia HFR 800. Pretty nice little camera so far from what I've seen of it. Now, your typical review will have the box opening, and those that always kind of bores me a bit. I don't care how the thing's packaged. I want to know about the product itself. So with that, let's get started and open the box and see what's in here. Nah, we're not going to do that today. We're going to talk about the camera. I'm going to tell you what came with it, show you what came with it, and let you see what kind of video quality you can get with it to help you determine whether this is the right camera for you or not. So the first thing I want to talk about is, did I really need to get a new camera? Up until this point, I've been using my cell phone for all of my videotaping and filming, and it's worked out just fine for me. So if you're going to do more stuff in the house, in the garage, you may not need to get another camera. My future plans call for filming some of the car show stuff that the car club I recently joined put on. I want to do some interviews there, interview some of the participants about their cars so that we can put that up on our channel. And I want to be a little bit more mobile. I want to have a little bit more memory space with my phone. You know, it would fill up after a half hour, 40 minutes of taping. I'd have to go in the house and dump the video and then come back out and continue on. So with the camera, it's going to allow me just to put in an SD card, swap out the battery if I'm getting low on power, and keep on moving ahead. So what does this camera come with and what does it not come with? In the boxing, you'll get a camera, the Canon camera, and it's a nice size. I like it. Has a strap here to help hold it to your hand. And I really like the way it fits in my hand. It seems large enough that it's not going to just, get lost, but small enough to fit in the pocket and go. The other thing it came with was this user manual. And it's okay. There's enough information in here to get you started, but there's not a lot of info in here on what this camera can do. It came with a battery, of course, and a charger, which you charge the battery through the camera itself. So you have to have the battery plugged into the camera, and then you plug this into the wall. The downside with this charger is it took a full 8 hours to get this battery fully charged. I guess that's okay if you're just going to be doing a little bit of filming, but if you're going to be on the road or out somewhere doing something, you probably want to get a couple of spare batteries and a wall charger. Those are pretty handy to have with you. It also came with a HDMI cable, so you can watch video from the camera straight to your TV, and a USB to HDMI cable, which you could plug this straight into a PC probably and pull the pictures or video off of it directly. I plan on just taking the SD card out and plugging it into my PC and grabbing the video and pictures off of it that way. The one thing that this camera did not come with, which I wasn't aware of until after I received it, was an SD card. Now fortunately I ordered an extra card to have, and when I got my packaging in, it was the only card that was in there. So I don't know how I missed that, but be aware it does not come with an SD card. So, important features on the camera for me. Couple of things that I really wanted in a camera going forward. First and foremost was price. I'm doing this as a hobby. I don't want to have a lot of money invested in this. Some of the cameras I looked at were $700, $800, $1,000 plus, and that just wasn't going to happen. I'm not going to spend that kind of money for when I'm doing something just as a hobby and to have fun with. Another thing that was important to me was a removable SD card. My phones do not have that, so like I said previously, once I'd fill it up, I'd have to run in the house and dump the video and come back out. Now with this camera, I can just pull the SD card out, plug another one in, and keep going. Battery life. From what I've read online, the batteries are good for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. So that's important to me, and that's why I will be buying a spare battery or two to have with me. Another very important thing to me was a mic port. Audio, if you watch some of my very early videos, the audio was terrible in it. And once I got this mic, which is a wired mic, it improved the audio tremendously. So an audio port was a must for me. Most of the lower end cameras do not have a mic port. So take a look at those, look them over closely before you purchase something. You know, this was the only low-end camera, and I got this camera for sub $200, $179 off of Amazon. And it was the only low-end camera that I could find with a mic port, which was top priority for me. Another thing that I really like about this, which I didn't discover until I started doing a little bit of filming with it, was the screen spins around. So I can have that pointed at me and I know I'm in the frame. With the cell phones, I had to shoot a video, see if I was positioned right, centered on frame, and then go back, rewind the film and double check it to make sure I was centered in the frame. With this, I can just flip that screen around and I can be viewing myself and know exactly where I'm at in the frame. Another nice thing with this is that it has a headphone port. So you can actually plug in a set of headphones, listen to your audio while you're filming, if you're filming someone else, to see if you're getting a good audio quality. One thing to note though, which I did find, is when I first plugged in my headphones, I was getting a really loud buzzing sound. And I looked into it a little bit and found out that you go in through the menu and you can choose either headphones or AV out. And you can put in an AV adapter, which will plug, go out to 2 AV plugs, so you can run this out AV cable or run just a straight pair of headphones. Once I selected the headphones, everything was fine. It sounded terrific. So I'd also recommend that you download the Canon manual off of their website. The manual is about 270 pages and could tell you what every setting in this camera can do for you, the differences, what the options are. For me, I wanted something simple. That's another reason why I like this camera. It's a very basic, simple camera. It's easy to use. I don't want to spend a lot of time with setup. I don't mind tweaking a few things here and there, but I don't want to spend a lot of time setting it up. I did browse through that manual. I didn't look at it that closely. If you do want some good, solid advice on all these setups for this camera, I'm going to put a link below to another YouTube channel. It's Crazy Will's Tech Show. This guy has done a ton of videos on this camera, tweaking the picture, the audio, everything. So if you do decide to go with this camera, jump over to his page. I'll put the link below, so it'll be a quick, click it and go. And you'll find a ton of videos he's done on setting this thing up, tweaking it out to get the best picture possible out of it. I've watched a lot of his videos and I've changed some of my settings since watching his videos, and it's really been helpful. So accessories for this camera. There are a number of accessories you can buy. A lot of people complain about it not having a shoe on top, but you can buy, it has the mount for mounting to a tripod, and you can buy one of those handles which will give you a shoe or two for a shotgun mic and a light, if that's what you're looking to do with it. I do all of my filming like you see right here. It's in the garage. I've got the garage door up, the overhead lights on, and I feel I get pretty good quality with that setup. Sometimes when it's starting to get a little bit dark out, I'll put up a couple of more lights just to light me up. But if lighting's what you want, you can buy one of the brackets to hold the camera and any other accessories that you want for it. One of the other things I'm going to buy is a wide angle lens. I like to have a little bit more side view out here when I'm filming. The camera is a little bit narrower. Now Crazy Will shows you how to set it up to get a little bit wider shot with this camera. He did a video on that, which was helpful, but I'd like a little bit more wider shot. The downside with that, from what I've noticed from some of the folks putting up videos with that wide angle lens, is the further out you get on the picture, it does tend to get a little bit blurry. Not terrible, but a little bit. So if you need that whole wide shot in focus, you may want to reconsider using a wide angle lens. So with that, I'm going to swap cameras out just so you can get an idea of how this camera records in the garage here with the same lighting that I use the smartphone on. And then I'm going to put up a couple more videos of some outside shots. I've recorded some a couple days ago when it was very sunny out, and you could see what that looks like. Today's an overcast day, but I'll do some outside shots just so you can get a look at that. One last thing I do want to add is with the sun, when it is sunny out, if the sun's behind you, it is hard to see the screen. That's probably one negative thing I can say about this camera. I've even tried shading the sun, try to get some of the sun out of the screen so I could see what I was shooting at, because there's not a viewfinder on here. Your only way to see anything is looking at the display screen. So that's probably one negative I would say about this is, when it's sunny out and that sun's behind you, it whitewashes the screen and it's very difficult, even on the brightest setting, to see what you're filming. With that being said, let me swap cameras so you can get an idea of what this looks like, and I'll be right back. All right, so here I am back filming now with the Canon Vixia 800. And I left the camera in the same position that the tripod that when the cell phone was on there. And you can see the picture is a little bit further back. Normally I would have pulled that in a little bit closer so you can get a little bit tighter shot of me, but I wanted you to see the difference between the two with the exact same location. Now, one thing that is important to remember is with this camera, you have to have a powered mic to use it. The cell phones do not require a powered mic, but this, and I don't know if all cameras are like this, but this particular one, you have to have a powered mic. Now, luckily for me, the one that I purchased a year or so ago, it's able to be used on a cell phone or a camera, and it actually has an on-off. I don't know if it'll focus in on that for us, but it has an on-off switch right there, so I can use it either way. The downside to that is that if it's turned off, you're not going to get any audio. Ask me how I know that. So you want to make sure that you're turning your mics on. I'm not going to use a shotgun mic mounted to the tripod or anything. Primarily, this has worked for me all along since I started using it. I kind of like the format, and I'm going to stay with it. So let's get some outside shots so you can see what it looks like. And again, the first couple shots I'm going to show you were done on a sunny day, 2 or 3 days ago. Right now it's overcast, but I'll show you what it looks like outside with an overcast day. So here we are outside, and that blue pickup truck is 3 houses down, so I will zoom in on that just to kind of show you what the zoom looks like. And it takes just a minute to focus in. Let's see if I can zoom in on the emblem there. I'll take my hands off the tripod so I'm not shaking the screen. And you can see it focuses in pretty good there. So let me back away from this. And here we have a car coming down the road, so we'll see if we can follow that car. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy. I'm not going to really use the zoom myself. But that black car over there is probably about, I'm going to say about 250, maybe 300 feet away. Let's zoom in on that and see what we get. And we can go in a little tighter on that if we want. I mean, if somebody was standing there, you can see, even sitting in the car, I could focus right in on them. Let's see on the wheels. And like I said, it's probably at least 250, maybe 300 feet away. So that's what it looks like outside, and like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. Alrighty, I'm just going to freehand these shots. Just a quick walk around the truck. I do have the stabilizer or stabilization on the camera. Yeah, I don't know really how well that stuff functions, but you know, it does come with it. And one thing I will say, out, it's pretty bright sunlight behind me. It's kind of difficult to see the screen. You can for the most part, but it would be nice if it had a brighter screen, and I do have it on the brightest setting for that. So one last thing I wanted to show you was a concern that some people had regarding Veelogging. You know, if you're just going to hold the camera kind of in this manner, you know, the shot is a little bit tight, as you can see. The wide angle lens will help with this, and also on Crazy Will's YouTube channel, if you check that out, he also shows you how to do somewhat of a software adjustment in the camera to give you a little bit wider shot, which I have done. There's 3 settings there, and this is the one that he recommends. And as you can see, it's okay, but not quite, a little bit too tight for me. I'd rather have a little bit wider shot, and the wide angle lens will do that. You know, you can hold it at arm's length, and this is about the best you're going to be able to do as far as getting a you know, wider shot behind you here. So one last thing I do want to show you before we sign off is how the audio sounds without an external mic. I've played around with it a bit. It's okay, but it's not good enough to my standards. So let me unplug the mic and we'll give you a little example of that. So here I am. I'm sitting in the same position, speaking with the same tones and at the same level. And as you can tell, it picks up audio okay, but it's not terrific. Probably, you know, maybe if it was a little bit closer to me, it'd be better. You know, or I could speak louder if I wanted to also, but I kind of like to keep my voice at its natural level. Just easier to stay at that point than trying to speak up or speak quieter, you know, at any point. Alrighty, and here we are back with the mic plugged in. So I hope that gives you an idea. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this camera. I think for the price point, its capabilities. One other thing before I forget is Crazy Will recommends to always do a white balance. There are white balance settings built into the camera, but I think the colors, like the wood grain back here, they seem to look more natural after doing the white balance than letting the camera automatically find the white balance. So that's pretty straightforward to do that. Not that difficult, and I think you're going to get a little bit better video quality and color after doing it. So overall, I'm very happy with this camera. I think it's definitely going to do or fill my needs just fine. It wasn't a big investment. I'll probably, after I buy the accessories I want, probably have around $220 into it. I don't want the neighbors to think I'm completely nuts over here, or their friends that are visiting. So anyway, overall I think it's a pretty darn good camera. It's definitely going to do what I need it to do. The big thing for me is wanting to be mobile so I can film at the car shows and get some interviews of people and check out their cars, get those on video. I think that'll be fun and interesting to do. For a beginner YouTube, you know, if you don't have the budget, keep using your smartphone. If you got a little bit of budget and you want to get into a camera, I think this is a great start. Again, I don't have a lot of experience, but I'm very happy with this camera, and we'll see where it goes from here. So with that being said, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for visiting my channel. I hope you all have a great day, and take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.